what's up everybody? So we've got a mod video for you today.
Yes.
I'm gonna put some lights on the Jeep. So you saw the video we did before where we put the Apollo Intech switch in, and at this point all we have connected to it are our front and rear lockers, and we find ourselves going wheeling quite often, especially doing a lot of night wheeling, and we really need more light on the Jeep because the headlights just aren't cutting it.
No.
Now that we're stuck in the house, here in the garage, we're able to look out. It's a beautiful day. Get some mods done, get the Jeep set up for next time we're able to go out and hit the trails.
Yeah. So if you guys haven't already, make sure you click that subscribe button. You can find it in the bottom right-hand corner of this video. Make sure you give us a thumbs up. It really helps our videos. And let's go ahead and get started.
Alright, so what we've got that we're going to install, picked up the Rigid Industries DSS Pro. Tell you a little bit more here in a little bit about why exactly I went with this light. We also got the Poison Spider A-pillar mounts. It's just a very simple, easy to use mount. I'll show you those in a second. On the lights that we went with, I did go with the flood option. There are a couple different ones that you can get. There's the flood and the spot, as well as the driving lights. Driving lights are a little bit more expensive. Don't necessarily want driving lights. I wanted something for use out on the trail while we're setting up camp in the dark, all those different kind of things. The flood is going to give you a much wider beam than the spot. The spot, it throws really, really far, like 300, 400 yards. I didn't need anything like that. I need something just to light everything up while we're outside. So we've got everything laid out that we're going to be using for the install. And like I said, there are LEDs on the side of these lights. So there is a specific driver's and passenger side light that you're going to have to use. So you can see there are LEDs here. If you turn and look at the other side, it's just kind of like a reflector. There's no actual LED in there. So we've got the lights drawn out or thrown out the way that we're going to be mounting them. We've got our Poison Spider mounts, driver side, passenger side. It comes with a little piece of rubber to put between the mount and the body so you don't mess up your paint. This is the hardware that came with the mount. Let me give a big quick shout out to Chris over at Poison Spider. We ordered everything through Northridge 4x4. We'll leave some links for that down below. But whenever we got the first set of mounts in from Northridge, they were missing the hardware. So we didn't have these bolts. We didn't have the little pieces of rubber. So called Poison Spider. Chris just said, hey, we don't sell a hardware pack for that. I'm just going to ship you some new ones. I guess he overnighted them. I don't know. They came in just like a couple of days. They were here really, really quick. So thank you very much, Chris at Poison Spider, for getting us fixed up with that. So things that you're going to need. Obviously, the wiring harness that comes with it. We're going to lose some of that. We don't need all of it because we're going to be utilizing the Apollo Intech switch that we have. You will need a T40 Torx to be able to take off the bolts that are on the A-pillar currently. You will need a T30 Torx to be able to remove the top piece next to the windshield to be able to fish some wires down in there. I've got a half-inch ratcheting wrench I'm going to use, so the mount itself, whenever it goes onto the bottom of the light and into the Poison Spider mount, be able to tighten that thing down. Zip ties, just make sure we've got the wire nice and tidy and put away and not snagging on anything. A knife, because I like to cut stuff. Some cutters, just to strip the wire. Need a 3/16 Allen wrench. That is going to be used to tighten down the bolts for the mount to the light, as well as the bolts to hold the mount onto the body. A pair of pliers and the little connectors there to be able to wire it into the Apollo Intech switch. And just for good measure, I'm going to throw a little bit of blue Loctite on there just to tighten these bolts down, as well as the bolts that mount the actual light onto the Poison Spider mount itself. After we've removed the bolts here on the A-pillar, went ahead and removed the ones here as well. These are the T30. I removed these, that way we can access through this panel here to run the wiring for the light down behind here. Seen some other people do that. I think that's just the best way to go. Now I'm going to go ahead and install the Poison Spider mount. We have the mount itself. We have the little piece of rubber that's going to go between, and then we have the two bolts. Like I said, they have a 3/16 head on those. The bolts that come with it are long enough so that if you're using these mounts and then also an A-pillar mount to hold a light bar, these bolts will go through both this mount and the additional mount to be able to hold the light bar as well. The stock bolts are much shorter, so they're not going to have enough thread to be able to hold everything on there tightly. So like I said, I am going to use some Loctite on this, just a little bit, not a whole lot. It's blue Loctite. It's not the red or the green, so it's not like it's just going to hold it on there crazy hard and never be able to come off. So sorry if you guys can hear our neighbors mowing over there. They got the lawnmower weeder and everything going. So there are a couple different options for these brackets going onto the bottom of these Rigid Industry lights. So two different ways that you can mount them, and all it's going to affect is basically the height that the light sits off of the mount. But you can see that the light has the little ridges there with the heat sinks, and the bracket goes down in here. So if you look at it from the side, you can see that this part has to go down because that's where it actually connects to the mount. And then here, you have to get it to where the hole lines up to be able to put the bolt through. What's going to end up happening is, with the configuration that we're in right now, you can see the silver part, the actual bracket itself, how close to the light it sits right now. Now if I take this bracket out and I flip it around and we go and we put it back in here, in order to line up, it's going to be right there. So now you can see it's going to raise that light, I'd say about an inch or so off of the bracket to be able to put onto your mount. I personally think I'm going to go with it in the configuration that keeps it the lowest profile. I don't really see much need for it to be an inch higher, sticking up off of the mount more. I mean, I figure it may hit a little bit more light onto the hood and possibly not throw as far to the front. I don't know. We won't really know until we get out on the trails. But I personally like the look of it with the mount being much more low profile and into the heat sinks, as opposed to sticking way out by flipping it around this way. So I'm going to go ahead and get these bolts put into this now and get this mounted up, and then we'll show you what it looks like whenever we put it on the Jeep. Don't forget to put your bolts, the carriage bolts, into the mount itself. If you're going in this configuration and you already tighten the bracket down all the way, you will not get that carriage bolt in there. Alright, well, I just happen to have some rubber laying around from whenever we did the Poison Spider fender liners. I didn't put this in there. Some people do. I didn't, for whatever reason. This was already enough of a nightmare, but turns out, same exact size hole, so I'm going to use a piece of rubber to go here between the actual light and the mount itself, and hopefully tightening down on that will hold it a little bit tighter, as the hole for the stud here is a little bit bigger than the stud itself. Alright, so we got that all started. So now we've got it on here. Obviously we're going to end up having to make adjustments once we get these out on the trail and figure out what's pointing where, but I'm going to try to put them just as close to level as I can at this point. And then also same thing, we'll make adjustments horizontally as well. Alright, we seem to have it aimed pretty well up and down at this point. We'll just tighten it down here. Alright, so now that we've got the light mounted on here, what we want to do is be able to run the wire under here to the hood, because we do have, like I said before, our Apollo Intech switch is where we're going to end up wiring it to. So we've got one wire coming off this light, a wire coming off the light on the other side. We loosen this cowl here to be able to run the wire down so that it can come through. Basically, what I want to do is the wires that's coming right through here, I want to be able to kind of follow those and run down into here, just along where this is at. So with this cowl loosened, we're able to take this, just tucking it up under the cowl here, or whatever you want to call this, Just making sure to get on the other side of where the bolts go in to hold this down here. And then the wire is going to be just right back here, kind of in this gap. It pinches it just a little bit. It's not too bad. Hopefully we don't run into any issues down the road, but it seems to be pretty well in place. And then the connector we're just going to leave right here. So we'll be able to run this, zip tie it to this wire, and then connect the wiring harness that we have here, and then run over to the Apollo Intech switch. Alright, so what we're doing, we're opening up the Apollo Intech switch now. Let's take this cover off here. We have the 6 switch system, so Providence is going to have to decide which one of these switches we want to go with. They've all got different names. Pod lights, she's got zombie lights on there. We got all kinds of fun stuff, but whatever corresponding switch inside the Jeep, I'm going to do it on switch number 6. Lockers are 1 and 2, front is 1, rear is 2. I want to put the lights all the way on the other side. Let Providence decide which switch she wants on there, what the name of it is, because she's going to be the one running that. I'm not going to mess with it. I'll tell her when to flip the lights, all that fun stuff. So now we're going to get this wired up. The wire loom that it comes with is made to do it all on its own. It does come with a switch to be able to run inside the Jeep, so that you have a switch for the lights themselves. But since we have the switch installed already, a lot of this we're not going to need. So these are the wires that connect to the switch. If you were to run it to the switch inside the Jeep, we're not going to use that. So we've got the wires that run in right here. This has got a fuse on it. This runs over to the battery. We don't need that because, once again, we're coming to the switch here. So we don't need that set up. And then we've got, just grab the same one. Then you have all the actual wiring itself. This is what plugs in to the lights themselves right here. Nice little connectors. So all of this wire we're going to be using, because it's going to end up coming over here to the Apollo Intech switch. We're not going to end up using all of it, but I am going to cut it off here just to give myself as much length as possible to be able to use. So I'm just going to cut that off. So like I said, this section here, this is what would run to the switch inside the Jeep. This is the part that would normally run over to the battery and has the fuse built into it here. You would run that over to the positive and the negative on the battery. We need none of that. We're going to get rid of it.
So you want me to connect this?
Yeah, that's going to plug into that right there.
Okay.
And then it needs to run down around the edge of this stripping over here.
Like
there we
this?
go. And down into the... No, it's just going to zip tie to this, yeah. So just across the top of that is fine. Oh, so close. There we are. And now I can wire it here. Go around. here. We'll zip tie it along the way here. This is just for all the power and ground and all that. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to pull it here. I am going to zip tie it and actually put it in through this loom here. Not zip tie, I didn't realize I had some space in this loom. Alright, so now I'm ready to cut the wire and be able to put our little connectors on here to be able to screw down into the switch. So I'm just going to cut the wire. We don't need a whole lot sticking through here. I'm going to cut it here, strip it back, and put our little connectors on. Work with what we got. Just want to avoid cutting any of the actual wire itself. We just want to get the insulator off. Obviously you want black on black and red on red. Alright, so now we've got our connectors on the end here. Like I said, we're going switch 6. I don't know if you can see that over here, but you can see there's negative and positive. So positive is going to be on this side, and then negative is going to be to the passenger side. Let's see if I can get my head in here and actually see where I'm going. There we go. And it's just a Phillips head. Tighten it down. Got the negative. We'll tighten it down. Pull that little bit of excess out of there so that the lid will go back on. I'm going to go ahead and put it on because we're going to say that this works on the first go. I don't see a reason why it shouldn't. I'll say that and now nothing's going to work. But we'll see. Moment of truth.